the show that everyone is talking about. A place to be for your great discussion and orientation. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the Presh Talk Show. We're not just here to talk, but we are here to impart morals, spread information that can enhance your businesses, your finance, your academics, even your relationship. And I know you want to build your relationship with people, and I know you want your finance to grow more than it is now. That's why the Presh Talk Show is here. Keep following our program. We'll keep you updated. Thank you. Welcome to today's show. My name is Precious, and I have here with me my great panelist, Savior Azaya, student of UNIYO, Department of Economics. And I have my lady, Blessing Joseph, student of Great Institution UNIYO, Department of Economics. You are welcome.
Why does our
Okay, these are Great Institution UNIYO. Okay, thank you. You're welcome to today's show. We'll be discussing on a very important topic. It's normal if you come in our family, mostly we Nigerians, we Africans, if you come in our family, there are things they want to do. Like if the mother wants to send an errand, depending the kind of errand, they say, okay, no, let the boy child go and do it. And coming to the other hand, depending on the kind of thing they want to do, say, let the girl child go and do it. So, and as well, in a family, there is this restriction. If a boy child, there is this offense a boy child will commit, they will not talk about it. Yeah. Everybody will just overlook it. But once the girl child do the same thing the boy child did, you see they will beat out the hell out of her. So we'll be talking on a topic that say child upbringing based on gender. Do you think there is a way we should train our girl child? There is difference from the way we should train our boy child. Okay, my lady, let's talk, my lady, let's talk. What do you have to say based on child upbringing based on gender?
Okay. Your child's brain develops at the first few years of life than every other time. Millions of neural connections are made in your child's brain in everything they experience. This early moment is a period for when the foundation for learning and behavior is formed, and it's the same for children of all genders. Parents can pass their gender biases on to their children. For instance, the girl child being treated as fragile and praised for her physical looks, while the male child is being encouraged to be strong and earn praise for his physical strength. So these children are gradually being taught to behave according to the accepted norms of their gender, which may be harmful to their social and emotional development. There is this video that I watched when a female child brought a can of water to her father to open it for her. Her father collected it and opened it for her. She left. Now the male child came and asked his father to open a can of water for him. His father refused and told him to do it himself. The boy struggled to open the can of water, but he did not open. His father asked him to use his clothes and force it open. He did, and luckily for him, it's open. Now, what am I trying to say? If the father actually opened it for the girl, why didn't he open it for the boy? He didn't consider how this boy will feel. So, also, if he's actually trying to make the boy strong, if he's actually trying to make the boy understand that he can get this thing right by himself, why not also teach the girl? Why should the girl child be treated with fragility and taught to depend on people? Why can't you also Why can't parents also make these children, the female children, to understand that they can actually do this thing and get things right on their own? There is this story I read online on Facebook actually. A boy asked the girl to date him. The girl was now asking the boy, "What do you do?" Now, this boy told him that he doesn't have much, but with time that they will achieve a lot together. So this girl was like, if you are not rich, if you do not have money, if you are poor, you should not come to him. He should not come to him. That she cannot date a poor guy and still be collecting money from other guys to take care of herself. Now, what am I trying to say? These girls need to understand that they can actually get things right on their own. They can actually fend for themselves. They can actually make money. I've seen several babies that are catering for their families, that are breadwinners of their family. So some girls need to understand that they do not need to depend on anybody to live their lives. They need to earn that respect from the society. So the female and the male children should be nurtured, cared, and treated the same. And there's this thing also I want to emphasize on. That is parents failing to teach their children how to do house chores like cleaning, washing, among the rest of them. I can't believe at this 21st century some parents still have the mentality that house chores is meant for the female alone. But you are not raising a man by exempting them from doing house chores, because when you don't teach them all these things and they eventually grow up with this mentality, they will definitely develop this attitude of nonchalancy about hygiene. And when they grow up to be a man, they leave all these things for their wives to do, coupled with the children she needs to take care of. And these things are not even healthy for the lady, because stress kills. Stress kills. So, and in some situations, it affects marriages because the lady will definitely get tired. There is this story I read on Facebook also, where a lady was talking about wanting to divorce her husband because he doesn't help her to do house chores, even to take care of the child. He doesn't help her. It's quite unbelievable and funny.
Okay, that means the way you train your child can really affect their marriage life, their marital life.
Sure, it can affect their marital life because you are actually training this child. You are actually training your male child to be a man, to be able to handle his family, to be able to. Some men will just leave the house chores for the ladies and do not care about helping her out.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Okay, do you think that it's proper, or should a girl be able to tell the parents, mostly the mother, that she's in a relationship, like she's dating a guy?
Yes.
Do you think, and how do you think that the mother will react, or the parents will react, when a child tell the parents, "Mommy, I have a boyfriend," "Mom, Daddy, I have a girlfriend"?
Actually, yes, it is necessary for the parents to be free, to be friendly with their children, so that the children will be able to tell them what they do, any relationship they are into. It is necessary for the parents to know the kind of friends their children keep, and do not judge them. What you do is, what they need to do is to advise these children. This is how you handle your relationship. This is what you should do, and this is what you should avoid, so that they will not go astray. It is quite good to catch them young.
Okay, that means our parents should keep a very good relationship with their children. Okay, Savior. Okay, so let's talk. So, what do you have to say based on child upbringing?
Well, allow me to actually address something she said. She said something about being dependent. Well, see, as a lady, you must learn to depend on a man, whether or not you like it. Yes, because men are the head. You said something about family or parents training their child. Yes, every child will one day grow up to become a man. And as we know this popular saying, being a man is not a day job. It's something that requires every man, that requires parents to want to. This is one of the reasons that requires parents to always want to train their child, give them this tough training. Now, that aside, child upbringing, we say. I also want to address it as child training. I see child training as an act of holding a child to a point where that child is old enough to actually walk on his or her own. Yes, every parent practices this act, especially Christian homes. There's this popular Bible verse that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. Yes, that's true. So the basic essence of training is solely depending on the child growing to a point where he is old enough to walk alone. That's the basic essence of child training. So I would want to address two things, yes, based on parenting. The first is the fact that parents would want to give the same home training that they received those days, because most parents do not want to grow with time. Things have changed. This is the 21st century. I mean, why would you want to give the same training that you received back then now? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I feel that every parent should adapt to change, adapt to timing. This is a generation of wise children. Children of nowadays are so wise. You can find 3 years doing something you wouldn't expect. So as a child, you should not give the same training you received back then to your child now, because things are advancing. Study your child. And the second thing I would want to emphasize on is the fact that every parent would want to restrict their child the privilege of flying. I feel that every parent should give their child this room to fly. You would notice that parents, yes, I understand the fact that you tried and you couldn't do it. I understand the fact that you went to school with Dangote, you get they are successful and you're not. Fine, I understand. But allow your children the privilege to fly. Allow them do the things that they want to do. Because when you restrict your child, you give them, they become less exposed. The less exposed they become, the more easier it is for them to fall or be victims of circumstances. Because why? They are not exposed. So I feel that every parent should allow their child fly. Let's take a look, or let's look at the eagle as, for instance, when the eagle wants to train her eaglet, all she does is to take the eaglet up and then drop it. She allows the eaglet to fly, allows the forces of nature, which is fear and other circumstances, to force the eaglet to flap its wings to gain balance. So that's one thing that parents fail to do. I know, I understand. You go through like 9 months, yes, 9 months, like parents who find it difficult to give birth on time, like those who take 15 years, yes, they won't want to give that access. They always want to give restrictions, because why? They knew how hard it was to actually give birth to these ones. They want to pamper them. It's good to pamper your child. Beyond no doubt. Me, I will pamper my pikin. Okay. Nothing will stop me. So I am not against the fact that you should actually pamper your child, but please, I would want to address something to the parents, please. I would want to say that you should give room for your child to fly. When you give room for your child to fly, you give them room to be exposed. You give them room to experience life. As they say, experience is the best teacher. When your child goes out to do some things, when they go out to do that thing, now they learn. There's this song that someone sing, try everything, no, it's actually a popular song in the Americans. Okay. Yes, the song is about trying everything. Okay, do things. You don't know which area you'd eventually find love in. This area you eventually find yourself growing this thing. You don't know how you find what you want God to actually propose you to become. So I feel that every parent should actually allow their child the privilege to fly.
Thank you for your contribution.
It's fine.
Okay, what What would you say should be the first exposure a child should be given access to?
Exposure. That's a very tough question. Well, I would want to answer that question with wisdom. Well, I won't be biased as to gender. I won't say you should pick or decide to give your male and not give the female exposure. I would even say that the female need more exposure than the male do, though, but it's not a thing I want to talk about, though. So I would say that we should give equal exposures to both child, and this exposure is actually dependent on what exposure you are given, especially at the age, because not every exposure is right. There are times for some exposures. The first exposures that every child needs is the exposure of learning at academics. If you would observe, the first thing that a child does, everything in a child's life is staged. The first thing a child does is to learn to sit, then crawl before he learns to walk. So the first thing I believe that every child should get is the proper training of what? Academics. Teaching that child to know what to do, how to talk. Then the next thing that follows suit is the aspect of morals. Teaching your morals, teaching your children the morals of the family, telling them about the family doings, normal stuff, you understand? So those are things that I feel that every parent should instill in their child.
Okay, do you think it's proper to expose your male child rather than your girl child? And what age a child should reach before be exposed to
All right.
society?
So, like I said earlier, that exposure is dependent on the age, and especially the type of exposure you are given.
Okay.
You cannot expose your child to relationship when he or she has not come of age. The right age for Nigerians is 18 years old. So when a child is up to 18, I believe that is when you can give access to that for relationship exposure. And if you would observe in this century, I think things are actually going wild. Even those less than the age of 16, 15 are now into relationship, and this is unwise. In short, it is unhealthy in every aspect of that child's life. Academic, mentally. You see children with telling me stories of I've had 14 heartbreaks. I don't understand. No, I'm serious. What do you do with your heart? It doesn't make sense.
I thought I'm the only one that is observing all this.
I even heard someone telling me that she has had 3 abortions within the age of 18 years. It doesn't sound right. So these are things that I feel that every parent should actually be cautious about. Like I said earlier in the ego illustration I gave. See, the ego, before it drops the child, it surveys the environment. It checks if that environment is okay enough to drop that child down. As a wise parent, before you allow your child go into or expose your child to that relationship age, you should first of all check, is that child mentally okay for this? Is that child academically okay for this? As long as that child is still in secondary school, no, I won't allow my child, as long as you are in secondary school, to date. So I feel sorry, I have to be really serious, because this is really a painful thing to me. It's not the fact that I'm actually laughing. It's a painful thing to me to see children with different stories. You see some going into prostitution at a very tender age. It doesn't make sense. So I feel that every parent should take out that time, sit their children down, and give levels of exposures to their child, starting from academics to morals to social, the exposure of them relating, and also embrace their friends. Is one thing parents fail to do. Embrace your children's friends. When they bring them, embrace them, know them, and even if you find a fault in their friends, know how to address that issue, because I feel that friends also influences children. So I feel that parents should
Be conscious.
be cautious.
Be the friend of the
Exactly. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
I'm really enjoying this topic. It's really interesting.
Sure it
because
is.
things I see around me is not something you can come about. Okay. And now I have to talk about child parents having this close relationship with the children.
Okay.
Having this close relationship with the children is very, very important. There is one of a friend, like they were sitting there, they were discussing. I was just listening because they were loud. They don't even care.
You drop.
They were discussing, so I was really listening because what they were saying caught attention. So the girl was saying that, do you know, like, was telling the girl that she's having this problem, this kind of situation, this and that. The friend told her, why not go and tell your mom? She said, no, I rather die than telling my mom. I was shocked. I said, I rather die than telling my mom. So the girl was like, what do you mean? Why can't you tell your mom? See, my mom will tell the whole world. So these are issues some of our parents are having. Mostly our moms. You have to build this confidence with your child so that they can be able, no matter what it is. Like, for instance, let me just use myself as an instance. If there are things I'll be going through, I must talk to my mom. Even if I don't want to tell my mom directly, indirectly, I'll just be like, mommy, I watched this thing on movie, using my situation, now using it as if I watched it in the movie. You see, my mom will give me solution immediately. My mom will not even allow second ear to hear it. My mom will give me solution. So I was shocked when there is this thing that happened in our neighboring street. This little girl, about 15 years, then she started seeing her menstruation. Like, so a little child, any little change she sees in her period, she'll be afraid. Then, because she didn't have this close relationship with the mother, mostly the mother, she didn't have this close relationship with the mother. So what did she do? She went and tell her friend. She went and tell her friend that this and that, my menstruation is not come out at the appropriate time. This, then what did they get? The girl went and bring a hard drug that the mother used to take. Go and bring and give to the child. The friend don't even know what the thing does, but she always sees her mother taking it. So she now says, since my mother used to take this thing, let me give it to you for you to take. Then the girl take it because her body is too small. The immune system is too light. She cannot carry it. The girl almost died. But thank God she survived it. At the process, the mother was asking her, what happened? Why did you take? Why did you tell me this and that? The child will say that, I'm afraid to tell you. I'm afraid to tell you that my period not start the appropriate time. It has to start. This is normal. It's normal that there is a shift in the menstruation cycle. It's normal. So the child, because of she's too small and she don't have all this knowledge, then she went to the wrong way rather than telling the plan. So these are some mistakes our parents do. Bring your children close. Bring them close. Make them feel comfortable around you to tell you everything they want to tell you. And as well, this goes to our fathers. If you can teach your son to be strong, why not as well make your child strong forward to every situation, to be able to face every situation.
She needs to stand
and be outspoken, to be confident in herself.
That's true.
And as a father, you are a guy, you have passed through some processes. I would love you to train your girl child to maintain her dignity as a woman. Train your girl child to be able to stand boldly enough. Train your girl child to be elegant and which word will I even use? And I want to express the way I want.
I'm jealous. What about the male child?
So that's it. Thank you for watching today's show. We'll bring it to an end. Keep following us and keep following our programs. Thank you very much. Please subscribe our YouTube channel, like, and drop your comments. What you think? Drop your comments. Thank you.